Hey.
Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. And
We're
good
in
night.
true consciousness now. Ooh.
Guess what movie that was a quote from spontaneously? Jim Carrey.
Oh.
What was his name? The Truman Show.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning, good evening, and good night.
I was thinking about Good Morning Vietnam.
Good morning, Vietnam. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. That's what. Yeah. Good morning, Vietnam. Hello, Deborah. Hi, sweetie. Were your ears burning?
We've been talking about you.
We were talking about you. All good things. All good things. What is wrong with me? I've got movie scripts in my head today.
I go through those spells too. Yeah. Oh, okay. See, and you've got different references than I do.
Oh, yeah.
Mine's more like, say hello to my little friend.
I say that one more than I should sometimes.
Oh, what she got up
hello to my little friend.
Yeah.
Think Latin thoughts.
Yeah.
Well, welcome everyone to our weekly podcast, Eyes of Indigo. My name is Margot Ross Sears. The lovely lady beside me is Iris Carter. And this is one of her several brainchilds. That's good. Brainchildren.
Blame it on me. That's right.
Hey, I'm just holding up the back of the horse here, which is important. And no, we have a lot of fun. Iris and I have been doing this weekly since September of 2020. So we're coming up on a year. Iris has been here for every single broadcast. So that means we're coming up on 52 of them, which is awesome. Our show, we talk about weird stuff in a rational way. That is our tagline. And you can see us, and some of you are coming to us through YouTube. You can also see us on Facebook. We are live Wednesday nights, 9:30 Eastern Time, USA. You can talk to us in the comments section, but YouTubers will not see Facebook comments, and Facebookers will not see YouTuber comments. So we repeat and read out loud the questions and comments we see. Sometimes Iris can get them to come up on a feed, especially if it's a long one, so that everybody can enjoy it. Also, this show will be recorded and eventually rebroadcast as an audio in some cases, an audio recording. So we try to say everything out loud for everyone that wants to listen to old episodes of ours on programs like iTunes, Spotify, and all of their conglomerate affiliates that blossom out of that. They're all over the place now. So welcome to the show. If you are new here, hi, very welcome. We're happy to see you. And if you are one of our regulars, hello. Yet another movie quote. And we are super happy to see you guys too. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We've got a fascinating topic.
Yes.
What you got?
It is, yes. Let me throw it up here. It is reclaim your thoughts. Subconscious beliefs can block us, make us sick. I can't read it without my glasses on. And prohibit manifesting. What does that mean? Well, I'll tell you. Plus, we'll offer techniques to empower yourself and recognize these thoughts that hold you back. So that is our intention for tonight.
We're going to manifest it.
Yeah, exactly. And I wanted to mention too, if you have, whether you're new or returning, do say hello, because it's hard for us to see who's here. And I do know I've gotten quite a few we're on Eventbrite, and quite a few responses came in the last couple of days. There was a newspaper article that I think might have attracted some attention that way. I'm not sure, but
Will you please tell them what the newspaper article was about?
the newspaper article was about my book. Hello, Lee. Um,
Care and feeding.
The care and feeding of ghosts and the children who see them. And it was done by a reporter out of Rockingham County, and which is where I work. I live just on the other side of the county line. But she contacted me, wanted to do a story about the book, and then she found out about all the other stuff I was into, and she said, "Oh, we're going to just make this sort of a." She dissected my life. Let me put it that way.
She did.
But it's like I ain't got nothing to hide.
But they highlighted this podcast,
yes,
in a breakout box at the top of the article. So
yes.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
So we're getting, letting people know about it. So it was interesting. Like I said, Eventbrite, I got some invitations. So I want to know if those people are showing up, or, who's new, who's returning, all that good
Tell
stuff.
us you're new. Tell us you're old.
Yeah. Tell us you're seasoned. Yeah. I'm a hot mama.
I'm an old hot mama.
I'm well seasoned. No.
For sure. Cool.
So,
all right. So the topic for tonight, we're basically talking about how our thoughts affect our ability to manifest a happy, healthy reality or life that one seeks for oneself,
right,
or for anyone else. But so let's go down that rabbit hole.
okay. So basically, first of all, when we talk about subconscious, well, what do we mean by that, and what are all these terms that we're throwing around? And I found a really good layout of the subconscious mind, and I'll make it full screen for just a moment. The conscious mind takes up about 10% of our mind, and it analyzes, it thinks, it plans, and it takes care of your short-term memory. So what you see, hear, feel, taste,
What you're aware of.
yeah. And then the subconscious mind is 90%. It includes your long-term memory, emotions and feelings, habit patterns, relationship patterns, addictions, involuntary bodily functions. Your breathing. You don't have to, although I do have a good joke about that. I'll tell you in a minute. And then the developmental stages, your spiritual connection, and your intuition.
And your creativity. Yeah.
Yeah. There was there darn it, did I lose you, Margot?
No, I'm still here. Did I jump out?
Yeah, there's I'm gonna it went black when I
I'm still here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We just
good. No swearing.
You.
No, I'm kidding. You know I swear. I swear.
All right, wait a minute. Let me take that off.
Hey guys, if you can see us, type in the comments if you can see my image or if it's black for you. What is it? What color of shirt am I wearing?
Yeah. Margot looks blacked out to me, and I don't know if it's me or if it's her. Can you see you?
Yeah, I can see me.
Okay, and then it's probably just me. So it might come back on when I start messing with other
What I'm noticing is we're wearing color coordinations.
Oh,
your sister can see me.
Yeah. All right, that's cool. All right, so
yep.
The thing, thank y'all. Jiminy Cricket, I lost my train of thought.
All right, conscious, subconscious, unconscious. Those are the three main terms of human psychology and awareness that we're using tonight.
Right. And oh, joke. Here we go.
Even better.
I was talking about how, your involuntary, like, you don't have to think about your heart beating for it to beat. You don't have to think about your breathing. And it reminded me of an old joke where, and it's one of those dumb blonde jokes. No offense to blondes. My daughter was blonde, kind of is still.
Oh,
Um,
I've been blonde. Look at
yeah.
Sweetie, you are what we call an Arctic blonde.
That's good. I like that. Okay, so yeah, and you know how those went for years. You always had these dumb blonde jokes. Well, there was one where the blonde always had headphones on, and um, somebody asked why is she wearing headphones? Why is she wearing headphones? And somebody said, I don't know. She says she needs them to live. And the guy's like, oh, come on. And he takes them off her head, and she drops dead. And he listens and says, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in.
I've heard a version of that joke. The hairdresser was trying to cut around him. He fell asleep in the
Ah,
chair. So the
yeah.
hairdresser took him out to do a better job, and she died. And then so he listened and then said, breathe in, breathe out.
Yeah. So thankfully, our subconscious does that for us.
Yes.
Okay. But the other thing is, I found, what's this? Nope, that wasn't it.
No, yeah, we did that one.
We did that one.
The other
Okay.
chart
I'm
that
going to get rid of you.
that you found that was beautiful.
Yes, I want to. I'm
And it was,
looking for the other
well,
thing.
what pulling
Ah,
it summarizes those.
oh,
That's the one we're also going to cover. Highlight as you go.
yes. So that takes up the full screen, right? My
Yes,
screen's just all screwed up over here, so I
it's full
apologize.
screen.
Okay. So the power of your subconscious mind, and this comes from Justin James
Coaching.
Justin, yeah, and he's got his master's degree in social work. He's a counselor. He's been a professional counselor, all this stuff. But I thought it was really interesting how well he this is where the head thing came from. But he talks about the subconscious mind is also known as the precocious mind and consists of accessible memories stored in your mind. You can become aware of this information once you direct attention to them. You walk down the street to your house without consciously needing to be alert to your surroundings. You can talk on the cell phone and still drive home safely, relatively. Uh,
Right, right.
um,
Relative.
but it's what I love about your subconscious mind is an unquestioning servant that works day and night to make your behavior fit a pattern consistent with your emotionalized thoughts, hopes, and desires. Your subconscious mind has what is called homeostatic impulse to keep you in balance physically and psychologically.
Homeostatic means to stay exactly the same.
Yes. The
Keep
job
going.
the job of your subconscious mind is to ensure that you respond exactly the way you are programmed. And we have talked about programming on here
Mm-hmm,
before.
mm-hmm.
Your subconscious mind makes everything you say and do fit a pattern consistent with your self concept programming or conditioning.
Which is
It
nature versus nurture. Right.
Right. And your subconscious mind is subjective. It does not think or reason independently. It merely obeys the commands it receives from your conscious mind.
Which is why Mr. Justin called it a servant.
Yes,
It only responds to commands from your conscious mind. Yeah.
exactly. So,
Or other subconscious thoughts. Yeah.
right. And so um when you think about the how it the how it works, and remember that it's being programmed. You're programming it,
Yeah.
other people are programming it. So things that you might have heard as a child, if you don't change it, it can stick with you for all your life. So and it becomes, and it's also beliefs, like your subconscious beliefs.
Yep.
I've mentioned that before, but that can affect. So let's say when you were a young girl and you picked out a dress, you really liked it, and you go, "Oh, mom, don't you just love this dress?" And your mom says, "Oh no, you don't look good in that color. That color's awful on you."
Right.
And then
You
you
believe
you,
it.
you believe it. And when you're older and you're thinking, "Oh, I'm going to go buy clothes," and somebody says, "Oh, this is pretty. This would look good on you." "Oh no, I look terrible in that color." Well, who's saying that? Is
Right.
that you? Is that your mom's voice coming through?
Actually, yeah. Actually, your mom's fears and
Yes,
insecurities being projected onto you. Yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
so and it became a part of you. Um, People will, sometimes we have less casual interactions than that, where it's more, you're never gonna amount to anything, you're never
Mm,
gonna be anything, and you just think,
you're
"Oh,
stupid. You're an idiot. What the hell is wrong with you?
exactly,
Man, that was dumb. Why'd you do that? God, you are
right."
such a fucking idiot. These kinds of comments, yeah, they
And
stay.
say, and maybe they were said when you were little, but you still hold on to them. um
Your sister's being funny again.
Sounds like we are in the middle of a zombie apocalypse minus flesh eating, with everyone on autopilot pretty much. Um
That's where they get the concept from for zombie characters. Yeah, it's a
yeah,
natural state of being for humans. Yeah, on a
yeah,
primitive level, which is where a
yeah.
zombie is on a primitive level. Yeah,
And so the way to recognize is when you say things to yourself, "Oh God, I'm just so dumb, I'm never going to get this." Well, guess what? You have just self prophesized, because that's the
you've
way
just
it's.
manifested, right?
Yeah. And you won't get something, you won't understand something if you ingrain that.
Keep telling yourself that you can't.
Yeah.
Literally,
So
the
you
self-talk.
Yes, exactly. So it's a matter of stopping yourself when you hear yourself say that. I have sat with clients that I'm helping them um do job search and helping them with their resume. And when we're working on their resume together, we have to, you want to cater it to the type of job you're looking for. Like,
Yeah,
I had a guy today that was talking about how he had all these multiple interests, and he goes, "How am I going to pull that all into one channel?" And I said, "Well, every job that you do has multiple layers to it. And so we're going to pull out the ones that are relevant and use that in the experience category. And then the skills that you got from it are going to go in the skills category." And he said, but a lot of times when I'm working with somebody, I'll say, "What kind of job are you looking for?" And they go, "Oh, I'll do anything." And I will look at them, and I will literally, I'll like put both hands on the desk, and I go, "Stop. Don't say that." And they'll look at me. And I'm going, "Do you realize what you just told the universe and told yourself?" I said, "As soon as you say, 'I will do anything,' some job is going to fall in your lap, and you're going to go, 'But no, I don't want to do that.'"
some crap is going to fall in. Yeah,
Yeah. And it could literally
because you
be
called
crap.
it
It could
to
be
it. Because
picking.
you called it to you.
Yeah. And
You
I mean,
thought it, and then you spoke it, so it happens. Yeah.
so if I'm talking to a 60-year-old woman, and she says, "Oh, well, I'll do anything." "Oh, are you willing to go and clean up animal carcasses off the highway?" "Well, no." "Okay, that's what you just asked for." Yeah.
A
you know,
little bit of tough love from Iris, can you tell? Go
and
get
it's
them,
like,
Iris.
and don't
Booyah.
be, yeah, give yourself credit where credit is due.
Right.
Ask for what you want. Command what you want.
I was going to say, honey, we ain't asking shit. We are telling the universe what we want. Small
Exactly.
correction, big difference.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And be recognize your own capabilities. Everybody has gifts, everybody has abilities, everybody is good at something, and everybody's good at a lot of things. Hello, Angela, just checking in.
Kreutzer, yeah.
Yeah. Um, so we're when you tell yourself or when you hear yourself going, "God, I'm never going to be able to do that," stop right there and change the language.
Change the self-talk.
Change the self-talk. And so what
Notice
kinds
when you're being negative to yourself.
right.
Notice it,
And
own it,
it's something
own it,
because
and fix it.
your subconscious is working off of habit.
Right.
You have to, in order to change that habit, you have to catch it when it happens and change it right then and start repeating it to yourself so that it
Find a
becomes.
positive version of what you just said.
So give me an example of a positive version on I'll never get this.
I got this.
Mm-hmm.
I can do this. This is easy. Yeah, this is a challenge, but I like it.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually what I do. When something
Yeah.
gets difficult, I hear, cool, this is going to be hard. And I've reframed my context for what does the word hard mean? It's no longer a negative
Okay.
connotation. Yeah.
Um,
So the hardest phrase I've found to try to rearrange is talking about being smoke free or smoke less, stopping smoking. That's a hard one to
ah.
find a positive version for.
Um, well, and here's maybe if you say, "Oh, I am stopping smoking," you're still in the process.
And you're still saying smoking.
Yeah. So you change it to
The closest I've heard is I breathe freely.
I would go with I have stopped smoking.
You're still
I
saying
know what
stopping
it feels
smoking.
like to not to
Breathe freely.
breathe
Breathe
freely, free of
yeah,
cigarettes,
bring yeah,
be free of
unenhanced
cigarettes.
air.
Yeah. I mean, because you can breathe with or without cigarettes as far as your subconscious is concerned. But if you say, I can live cigarette free, or I can,
You want me to say something radical?
okay.
Cigarettes are my friend. Smoking has, what was the other one that I came up with? Uh, my health continues regardless of smoking.
Yeah.
I have good health without influence, but then again, we got the word at that without. The easiest word I've ever found out to get around is use the word avoid. I
Yeah.
avoid toxic input about smoking.
Hmm.
I
And the
avoid
reason we're saying
health
that,
issues.
your subconscious doesn't know,
That's
it
a
doesn't
difficult one, but the
recognize
others are
negative.
easier. Yeah, I can do this. This is fun. Um, I'm smarter than that. Instead of saying I'm stupid, you can say no. Actually, I'm smarter than that.
Hmm.
Oh God, why the hell did I say something that stupid? No, reframe it and say, you know what? I'm smarter than that. What else could I have said? And change it.
Another thing to recognize is that your conscious mind is on our timeline. Your subconscious doesn't have past and present.
Do you got that meme to show that?
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. I'm
It
glad you
was
said that.
yellow. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. The conscious mind is time bound, separating past and future. The subconscious mind is timeless. Past and future are simultaneous, sorry.
So your
So,
subconscious mind that takes direct orders from your conscious mind and nowhere else, it runs off of your emotions and your pre-programming and your current programming. only from childhood on out and possibly past life as well. It does not know past, present, and future. It only knows now.
What is?
Past and present are the same thing.
And so that's why you can say things like, I already know how to do this.
And your whole consciousness from past to future will know it instantly.
Yes.
I have a story to tell you.
Okay, cool.
I used as you may or may not know, and some of you guys might remember, I used to do readings on a regular basis in Greensboro at a wonderful little metaphysical gift shop called Eclectic by Nature. And they have readers come through. And I used to do readings 2 or 3 times a month. And I was very popular at it as well back in 03, 04, 05. One lady and her mother came in and for a reading for the young lady. She was maybe in her late 20s, early 30s. And they were giggling, but they were saying, well, she has a problem with her boyfriend's situation. The mother said, and they giggled at each other. And she said, but I'm going to let her explain it. And she said, well, this is kind of silly, but I have a new boyfriend. We want to live together, but I'm afraid of his dog. And I said, is the dog a threat? And she said, no, it's a teeny tiny yap, yap, yap thing. But for some reason, I'm really scared of it. And I said, are you scared of all dogs? She said, yeah, basically I am. She said, it's noisy dogs that get me. A quiet dog I can live with, but this dog is beep, 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 beep. And it just, freaks me out. We were wondering if you could see if there was any issues attached to that, give us an intuitive reading on that situation, see where that's coming from. And her guides, and there was basic psychology. I came up, I said, sweetie, what happened with the dog when you were little? And she said, well, and the mom looked at her and she said, go on, tell her what happened. And because she felt self-conscious about it. And she said, well, when I was, long story short, when she was 7, a noisy little barky dog in the neighborhood scared her really bad. It charged at her and made her think it was going to bite her. And she was little, maybe about 7, 6, 5, somewhere in there. And so it imprinted on her that barky dogs are scary, dangerous, whatever. And she said, and I said, okay, and you still believe that? And she went, well, yeah, I've always not liked dogs that are barky like that. And I said, and you were 7 when you came to that understanding? She said, yeah. And I said, how old are you now? She said, I can't remember exactly, but she said, like, I'm 25 or, I'm 29, something like that. I said, and you're still carrying around the belief system of a 7-year-old? And she went, I never thought of it that way. And her mother went, oh my God, that changes everything. And I said, yes, it does. I said, by the way, sweetie, what else are you believing that is decades ago? I said, are you still that 7-year-old child? And she went, no. And I said, exactly. And her mother were just, yeah, they started crying and hugging on each other and hugging me. And I was like, it was wonderful.
But so now go to your boyfriend with the yappy dog.
Yeah. Don't worry about the yappy dog. You're not 7 years old anymore. Yeah. So yeah, that occurred to me. That's a real good example of that. Oh, here's a good one. We have another meme on the screen.
Yes. I don't get mad. I just push all the anger and resentment into a festering ball of hate deep within my subconscious.
I wanted her to change that one and change it to deep within my soul.
Yeah. Oh, and while we're on it, I'll go ahead and show the other one I had.
Now, okay, radio voice. Read it right. La, 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 me. Do it right, because this is a good cartoon.
You're listening to Internal Monologue FM with me, DJ Subconscious, playing all your thoughts nonstop, uninterrupted 24 hours a day. From classics like, Why Did I Say That? And golden oldies like, Am I a horrible person? To today's hottest hits, What the hell am I doing with my life? And Am I hungry or am I bored? Stay tuned.
That was good. That was really awesome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank
Very
you. Thank you.
good,
I'm here all
guys.
night, folks. Yeah.
But and it's just hysterically funny as that cartoon really is. It's part of what's so funny is how true it is.
Yes. Yes.
I love dark humor that is starkly truth. It's my favorite.
Very much so.
So
Very
yeah, I'm glad you found that. That's because God, I mean, if our regulars know it, but newcomers, if you haven't figured it out yet, Iris and I are strong proponents of laughing at yourself.
Very much so. Very much.
Enjoy the ride. Giggle at yourself every chance you get. And quite frankly, that is another form of positive self-talk. If you can have a genuine giggle at your own mistakes, we all make them every day. If you can laugh at yourself, you are reprogramming yourself to be positive about your self-esteem. And we all know the bottom line, the bottom layer of human failure, sadness, and illness, stress and disease is lack of self-esteem, lack of self-worth. So anything you can do to raise your self-esteem, self-talk will move that up fast. And we're going to talk more about how to do that.
Yes. And on that same note, recognizing when you're happy.
Yes.
Will change your life as well. Because if you can, like, especially, some people go through, I call it the Rosie the Robot syndrome from the Jetsons, where she, she's just kind of dragging and over. If you've
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe, the robot was chronically depressed. Yeah.
And so when you have a happy moment, recognize, and I mean, just even if it's for a split second, if you revel in that and go, this is so wonderful, I am really having a good time. Or, like I've gone out in my backyard and just stopped and realized this is so nice. The air is clear today. I love the breeze. This feels good. And I take a moment, stop and smell the roses, literally and figuratively.
It's a way of expressing gratitude. The universe will bring you more of what you compliment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And, or I'm with family and, maybe I've been tense all week and then I go to one of my grandkids' birthdays or something like that. And I stop for a minute and I'm hearing the laughter and the joy. And if I stop, instead of going, oh crap, I got to deal with so-and-so again because they're also.
Why is everybody being so noisy? No, they're laughing.
And if I stop and go, oh, this is so nice. They're having a good time. And I get to be here and witness it and enjoy it.
And amplify it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Cherie said she finally found us. Hello, Cherie.
Yay!
She likes what she hears so far. Very cool. Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate that. And I apologize if it was difficult for you to find it, but we're glad you did.
Absolutely. So another comment, a little bit devil's advocate, but with a solution. You're talking about finding joy and recognizing happy times, peaceful times, positive times, events, observations that you make in your day-to-day life, and sometimes even hour to hour. It's beautiful here. Oh, I love that smell. Listening to my family laugh, isn't that awesome? That shirt, that color looks really good on me. Don't I have the sweetest friends? Woo, those cookies, that martini, that basket of broccoli and snow peas. I cook them, they are delicious, and people are happy. Look at all those happy munchers. I did this, me, king, fire. I created fire. So, yeah, build a fire and be proud of it. Devil's advocate, how many of you remember you stepped out somewhere beautiful? You went to the beach, you went to the mountains, you saw a sunrise, sunset, and you said, oh, that's so beautiful. And either a sibling or a parent said, duh, Captain Obvious. Oh, yeah, or something deadening like that. It's like,
No
yeah,
shit,
really?
Sherlock.
Yeah, no shit. Sherlock was when I got hit. Thank you. I had a sister that said that constantly. All right, so you got to recognize when, yeah, you might still reject stating the obvious because you were criticized for saying it.
That's true.
That's a competitive vent that you might be remembering.
So give
Override
yourself,
it. Override it. You
permission.
choose.
Yeah. Give
You
yourself
choose. You
permission.
decide what goes on in your head.
Right. Give yourself permission to be happy, to enjoy things, to revel in the joy, and to give yourself permission to control yourself. A lot of times people,
Nobody else can.
right, and people think, oh, well, people will laugh at me, or people will, if you own it, if you work it, own it, you can be it. And so if you know, who's going to laugh at you? And if you're enjoying something and reveling in something and recognizing something, and somebody does laugh at you, it suddenly doesn't matter anymore because you're enjoying it anyway.
And that's the whole purpose for existing, is to be in joy.
Yes.
Even if it's for a couple of seconds, couple of minutes.
Yes.
You're doing the whole reason you were born to, the second you experience joy. And Jamie agrees.
Yeah.
Own it.
It, Jamie. Yeah. Work
Absolutely.
it.
High fives all around.
So, yeah. So that's, and a lot of times the negative things that we tell ourselves, we've heard from before, or we're afraid of hearing. And we kind of tell ourselves,
because it might be interpreted, reinterpreted actually as criticism.
So who cares?
Guys, you can't go through life thinking what if you notice, again, like Iris said, when you notice your brain going down a dark what if, or remembering old criticisms, crap like that, stuff from childhood even, or past relationships, or even just old self-talk on yourself, you can't put it on anyone else. Own it and change it immediately in that moment. Take 2 seconds. And we're going to talk about a couple of ways how to make that easier for you. Give you some techniques.
So do the technique that you were telling me about earlier, Margot. I liked that.
Thank you. It's from the Emotional Freedom Technique, which is actually a series of techniques. This one is for when you have an angry or unhappy thought. And it can be an experience, it can be a person, it can be a thing, it can be a situation, it can be anything. And I'm going to talk you through, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to talk you through actually doing this experiment so you can experience the emotional freedom that you can have instantly. I'm going to give it to you. It'll take about a minute, minute and a half. But when I'm done, you're going to be able to see how you can actually do this to yourself in less than 5 seconds. Okay, so work with me. First, take a deep breath. Everybody relax. It's going to start off a little bit sticky and steamy. First thing you do is think of a person or situation that upsets you. It can make you sad, angry, confused, hurt, whatever. Think of one situation, one person who triggers you. That's a good way to put it. Something that triggers you. Now, in your mind's eye, and you can do this open eye or closed eye, it doesn't matter. In your mind's eye, see a small video of that person irritating you, or the situation that's irritating you, and just let it run in like a 5-10 second loop, video loop, and it starts right back over. Let it go 2, 3, 4 times. Now freeze the image. Doesn't matter where, freeze it. Stop moving it. Now you have a colored picture frozen in front of you. Next, turn it from color to black and white. Okay, you're turning the picture from color, frozen color, to frozen black and white and shades of gray. Next, in your mind's eye, see this picture. Maybe it's about as big as a large book, 8 by 11, 8 inches by 11 inches. See it as a piece of paper, a photograph, a black and white photograph. Now in your mind's eye, shrink that photograph down to about the size of a slice of toast, a slice of bread. In your mind's eye, see it go and shrink down. And now it's a black and white piece of bread-sized paper. Next, shrink it again till it's about the size of a matchbook, or maybe a cigarette lighter. Got a theme here, a Zippo, or a business card. Shrink it down to about the size of a business card or a matchbook. And it's still a black and white image, but it's getting tiny. The details are starting to be really small. It's getting harder to see. You're going to shrink it down one more time and shrink it all the way down to the size of a postage stamp. Little bitty tiny, about 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch, a tiny postage stamp, a little one. Now in your mind's eye, see that postage stamp get whiffed up on a puff of air and start flipping and flying and fluttering in the breeze and floating away from you up into the sky. It's flittering and flipping over and swirling up into a beautiful light blue, clear sky, maybe a couple of happy puffy clouds, maybe a rainbow up there, or just beautiful night sky, diamond stars, whatever you want, but it's flipping away. You're watching it go. It's getting tinier and tinier in the distance, further and further. You can barely see it. It's a tiny little dot and it's gone. It's too far to see. It's gone in your mind's eye. Take a nice deep breath in. Release and relax as you exhale. Drop your shoulders. Relax your jaw. Open your eyes. Come back to here and now, looking at your screen with me and Iris. Think about that thing that bothered you that we started with. How do you feel about it now? Does it bother you as much? Does it trigger you as much? Or even at all? Do that for anything that bothers you. You can talk this down in your brain in 5 seconds. It's like, okay, that person is, you're at a business meeting, a coworker's annoying you. In your mind's eye, freeze frame that person, turn them black and white, shrink them down to a postage stamp in your mind, just in one step, down to a postage stamp, and blow them out. Maybe not at their face or anything, but
Yeah.
or blow it out, tiny little, gone. And how you feel about it, all your attachment goes with it. And you're like, cool, I don't have to hang on to that ugliness anymore.
Yeah.
Because you can literally release it. Emotional freedom technique, EFT. Namaste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do that with every fucking thing. EFT.
Yes. If swear words trigger you, you can see the The F word, F-U-C-K, on a piece of paper, shrink it down, turn it black and white, and blow it away, and watch how you feel about the F word now.
Mhm.
It's really cool.
I just
Yeah.
like the EFT, EFT, every fucking thing.
Exactly. And if you need to do this repeatedly, do it. Yeah, have fun with it. Be creative with it if you like that. Or keep it real simple, down and dirty, and have it out of your head in 3 seconds. The time it takes to inhale and exhale. Inhale, shrink that black and white, shrink that puppy down. Exhale, blow that tiny postage stamp into oblivion.
And and if you're not used to doing that kind of thing, a little bit of practice and it'll come to you faster, you know.
Yes, practicing is super useful. So,
Yes.
Iris, you have another technique that includes a fascinating video clip for
Yes.
another one. Yeah, another way to deal with this cool stuff.
Um, Amy Cuddy, Cuddy, is a woman that she's got a TED talk that's about 20 minutes that is well worth looking up and watching. But she also they've shrunk it down into like a less than 3 minute clip. And that's the clip I'm going to show y'all. And then
A
what's
condensed it. Yeah.
yeah, and what's interesting is to hear her whole story. She talks about being in a bad accident when she was in high school or college, early college, and they said that she had a traumatic head injury, and that her IQ dropped about 20 points, and they said you're just not going to be able to finish school. And she overcame all that power of positive thinking kind of thing, and so to hear her tell that part of it is fascinating.
Cool.
But
Very cool.
she's in research now. I do want to also let you know, if you look her up, you will also see, like in Google or something,
Criticism.
you'll
Yeah.
see some criticism of her research, and she has addressed that and rebuilt that up. So
She's refuted the criticism. Yeah.
right. So don't think when you look her up, oh well, she really doesn't know what she's talking about. She does. So with that, I'm gonna make this full
Watch
screen.
this. It's really cool.
Yeah, now I gotta go back over to the screen and make it happen. Okay.
So I want to start by offering you a free no-tech life hack, and all it requires of you is this, that you change your posture for 2 minutes. I became especially interested in nonverbal expressions of power and dominance. And what are nonverbal expressions of power and dominance? Well, so in the animal kingdom, they are about expanding. So you make yourself big, you stretch out, and humans do the same thing. So they do this both when they have power sort of chronically, and also when they're feeling powerful in the moment. So powerful people tend to be, not surprisingly, more assertive and more confident. Physiologically, there also are differences on two key hormones, testosterone, which is the dominance hormone, and cortisol, which is the stress hormone. We decided to bring people into the lab and run a little experiment, and these people adopted for 2 minutes high power poses or low power poses. And I'm just going to show you 5 of the poses, although they took on only 2. This is what happens. They come in, they spit into a vial. We, for 2 minutes, say, you need to do this or this. We then ask them, how powerful do you feel on a series of items? And then we take another saliva sample. Here's what we find on testosterone. From their baseline when they come in, high-power people experience about a 20% increase, and low-power people experience about a 10% decrease. Here's what you get on cortisol. High-power people experience about a 25% decrease, and the low-power people experience about a 15% increase. So 2 minutes lead to these hormonal changes that configure your brain to basically be either assertive, confident, and comfortable, or really stress-reactive. But the next question, of course, is, can power posing for a few minutes really change your life in meaningful ways? And so what matters, where you want to use this is evaluative situations. We decided that the one that most people could relate to was the job interview. What do you do before you go into a job interview? You do this, right? You're sitting down, you're looking at your notes, you're hunching up, making yourself small, when really what you should be doing maybe is this, like in the bathroom. Okay, so we bring people into a lab and they do either high or low power poses again. They go through a very stressful job interview. It's 5 minutes long. They are being recorded. They're being judged also. We then have these coders look at these tapes, 4 of them. They're blind to the hypothesis. They're blind to the conditions. They have no idea who's been posing in what pose. They end up looking at these sets of tapes and they say, oh, we want to hire these people, all the high power posers. We don't want to hire these people. But what's driving it? It's not about the content of the speech. It's about the presence that they're bringing to the speech. The last thing I want to leave you with is this. Tiny tweaks can lead to big changes. Before you go into the next stressful situation, for 2 minutes, try doing this in the elevator, in a bathroom stall, at your desk behind closed doors. That's what you want to do. Configure your brain to cope the best in that situation. Get your testosterone up, get your cortisol down, and it can significantly change the outcomes of their life. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, pretty powerful. And
tell the story, about your students. Yeah,
I was teaching an English class for people who were in industrial technologies like HVAC, electronics, those types of things. And we catered the English class to these guys, and it was a class full of like the manly man, type. And the class,
John Deere's.
right, and they needed an English class in order to get a degree, and so the English class I catered for them and did it on communications, workplace communications,
memos,
how to address other people, how to ask for what you want in a nice way, those kinds of things.
How to give an order. Yeah.
Right. And I also, we wrote resumes and cover letters and things like that. And so in that process, we talked about job interviews and communications. And that was I showed them the full 20-minute video. And, they were receptive. And I, even after it was over, I said, okay, guys, stand up and stretch and do, and I say, how do you feel? And they go, oh, yeah, I feel better. It was sweet. They were, appeasing
compliant.
Me. Yeah. But the next week, one of the guys comes running in. He goes, I did it. And I said, what did you do? It kind of scared me there for a minute. And he said,
what did you do, Joe Bob? And why are you carrying that knife behind your back?
Exactly. And he said, I had a job interview. And he said, before the job interview, I did the power pose. And he said, and I just, and I said, you didn't do it in the lobby, did you? He said, no. I went in the bathroom. and he did his power pose. And he said, I felt so much better in that interview, and I knocked it out of the park. And I was so pleased that he did it and then came back and told me that it worked.
And told you about it. Yeah.
And regardless of whether it was real and that he got his cortisol down and his testosterone up, or if he just believed that it would make him feel better, either way, it worked.
It's self-talk plus biological programming.
Right. Yeah. And so
his subconscious was taking orders from his conscious mind that said physically, I am a winner.
Yes.
And that is how he communicated during the interview. Yeah.
And the other pose is the Wonder Woman pose, with your hands on your hips. That's another one that is in that capacity. So it's either the arms in the air or the Wonder Woman pose.
The warrior pose. Yeah, it's a type of warrior pose, right?
Yeah. Yul Brynner used to do it all the time in The King and I,
Right. Yeah, he would walk around in this King and I like this.
Yeah. And the cool thing is they took this into, there was a study done with a kindergarten class. And they took this idea into the kindergarten class. And every morning when they have a little circle with the kindergartners, they would say, okay, I want everybody to stand up and do your power poses. And they would do them. And that class did 10 to 20% better than the other kindergarten classes that didn't do the power poses. And they saw a definite improvement in their scholastic achievements, even on the kindergarten level. So if, doing that, and I think too, it has something to do with lining yourself up and using, good posture and
Yep.
spreading yourself out, because we're at computers, we're on cell phones, we get smaller and smaller.
We hunch
And
over our wheels, driving
yeah,
wheels. We hunch over our computers. We hunch over our cell phones. We hunch over our food. We hunch over our books. We hunch all the time over our stuff,
we're a bunch of hunchy people.
which is exactly, which is, what did they call that? Not that was the opposite of the power pose.
You're submissive, and
Yeah.
you're getting going toward that fetal position, and she does a lot more of explaining the poses in the longer version. But like when you think of, like, in the animal kingdom, the ones that are in charge, like the gorillas, they're beating their chest and they're spread
Mm-hmm.
out, and the younger ones, or the submissive ones,
Keep
are
their arms down and hunker over.
right.
Yeah.
So those are physical. You got your physical way of
Reacting.
yeah, of getting rid of your negative self-talk, and your meditative way. And then just reminding yourself, when you hear yourself say something in a negative fashion, to turn that around and make it something positive.
Or turn it black and white, shrink it down and blow it away and replace it with something beautiful.
Exactly. And it does, the self-talk and all that, it does, when we talk about,
Appreciate your happiness. Yeah.
yeah, and when
And
we
that was
talk
the
about
other one.
manifesting, it sounds woo-woo, but and more people are using the term. So a lot of people go, "Oh, well, it doesn't mean what it used to mean." Well, it
Yeah, it
does.
does. Yeah, it
Um,
does. Yeah.
Angela says, it's from exhaustion for me, not being submissive. That's true. But
But that's
how,
what exhaustion is designed to do, sweetie. It's
yeah.
designed to make you submit.
And
That's what it's for.
I have sat at my computer and been miserable, because I'm like, can't keep my eyes open. I'm working and I'm trying to get something done. And the best thing I can do for myself is get up, stretch,
Stretch.
walk around a little bit, and sit back down, and I'm wide awake again. So,
Try it.
yeah.
Try it. Coach yourself. Talk about, I can do this. I am wide awake and on the job.
So it's how you
Angela.
train dogs. You mean being the assertive, the posture
Yes.
thing?
Yes. The same way you train dogs, train yourself.
Yeah.
We're all working from the same mammalian brain, reptilian brain, actually, which is even more primitive, but on the same register.
Yeah. I like my little reptile move. I'm
That is just scarily accurate. your imitation there.
smell the air,
Impersonation of a
little
lizard
brain.
bullfrogy thing. Yeah. It's a froggy frog. I imitate
I don't
a
even
human
want to
fairy.
see that. Oh, Lord have mercy. All right. So we're getting close to the end here.
Yeah.
I want, if there's any last minute comments or questions or whatever, but we hope that has brought a little bit more focus into positive thinking and
How necessary it is
yes.
to be happy and healthy.
Yeah.
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 I mean, never underrate how important it is to be happy.
And
It's
and
the
the
only
healthy
reason you
thing,
exist.
that reminds me, because even science is finally catching up to the realization. I saw a study within the last couple of years where they're going, and I'm going, I wanted to say, no shit, Sherlock, that your mind does have control over your illnesses, and that people who are more positive tend to heal quicker,
Faster and quicker and better.
and it's like, my God, we've known this for
Eons.
eons, yeah, and
It's been
science.
called lots of things. Placebo effect, all kind, mind over matter. It's been called a lot of things. Yeah.
Yeah, but
It's
there
always
really
been
is
there.
something to it. And I've got the
Health
woman.
maintenance starts with staying happy.
Yes.
Do your power poses. Watch yourself talk. Put value and time and energy on recognizing happy moments in your life.
Yes.
Yeah.
So next week, I Margot is
Doing a wedding.
yeah, yay,
Yeah.
ding dong.
Not mine, someone else's. I'm already there.
Yeah. And so while she's gone, I want to invite a couple of people in the audience that would be interested in joining me to
Online.
do online. So in other words, I would give you the link and you would show up where Margot is now, one at a time. And but I'm gonna say let's stick with two people right now. So the first two that respond, and what we're going to do is I am a theta healing practitioner. Theta as in THETA, the THEA.
Theta wave.
Yeah, theta wave. I can't spell it right now. But I know how to spell it, and I'll remember it. THEATA.
See her doing the rewrite? Yeah, good example. Yep.
But the theta healing is a way to get to core beliefs and core values and subconscious beliefs to find out or to create change in your life. And it can be physical, it can be psychological. So, I mean, there, but it all comes down to, and that's what I want to do next week is to explain
Physical,
more.
mental, emotional, or spiritual, right?
Yes. And
Yeah.
so we're going to talk about what theta healing is, and then we'll work with the people that are on the two guests.
You're saying we. No, it'll be just you.
Yeah.
And spirit. And spirit. And source. Yeah.
I will work with a person one at a time. We're going to pick two people, but I will work with one at a time. So one will come in for the first half, and the second one will come in for the second half, and do theta healing with you. So you
It is
and
instantaneous and it is a lot of fun.
and I
Yeah.
promise it's not. I won't do anything that will embarrass you. It's very heartfelt. It's a safe place. But you'll have to answer some questions and things like that as we go. I'll be asking you things. But if it gets too deep or too personal, we can stop and I'll take you off air and we'll finish it later. Cherie, she says she needs some theta healing. So can you be here next week and at
9:30.
At 9:30? And what I will do is you're visiting us through YouTube. So I don't want to make your email public. Can you email me Iris at iriscarter.com? And I know I should throw that
Throw up a banner for that. While she's doing that, guys, if those of you that have not experienced theta healing yet, I can give you some feedback. It literally feels like mentally floating in warm water. It's very serene, it's very soothing, and it's very comforting. And it's highly interactive. You feel very much in control of the situation. It's some people say, is it like hypnosis? No. Hypnosis is also very awesome, and I highly recommend it too. This is a very different technique. You are more conscious, and you are extremely aware and participating in the conversation. So it's not a dictating, coaching, preaching type thing at all. It's like floating in warm water and being super happy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Iris
email
is very,
again,
very talented at it.
I've
Yeah.
got it going across the screen, but it's iris@iriscarter.com. IRIS at IRISCARTER.com. So email me so that I have your email address and I'll send you the details on connecting. But yes, you'll have to have your camera on and your microphone on so that we can see and hear you. I don't necessarily have to do it personally. I can do this on the phone. But I
our
want
audience
people to
wants
see it working. Yeah, the audience wants to see it working.
allow everybody to enjoy it with you. Yeah.
Yes.
Because you can see it. You can see it. So
Okay.
anybody that's interested, or if you're interested but you want to ask Iris some questions first, email her, and together you can decide if it's something you want to do. And eventually the first two people to confirm will be our go.
Yes.
Somebody will be start at 9:30, or Iris will give you instructions, and the other person can watch and kick on at watch online and then kick on with Iris at 10.
Yes. And I got to kind of think this through because I'm thinking I might have you both check in before the show to make sure camera and audio is
Technology.
working. And yeah, the technology's done, and then you can kind of sign out and then come back when it's the appropriate time. So we'll take about 10 minutes or so at the beginning, and I'll explain more clearly about
What to
theta
expect.
healing, and
Yeah.
we'll do a session, and that'll take 20 or 30 minutes, and then we'll do the second one. So you're on the
6:30 her time.
Wow.
Yay!
Yeah, so glad. I'm
Thank you for finding us.
Yes, when you email me, let me know how you found us. I'm curious what your connection is, but I think it's awesome that you did find us. So, and anybody, yeah. So anybody else that's interested, email me, let me know, and we'll get that worked out and the deets on that.
You got 5 or 6 days to decide and/or ask questions.
Yes. So otherwise, I'm going to
sorry,
be
I will miss you guys, but I will be back the following week.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. We're going to miss
Yay.
her. So, she's in Portland. Okay. Cool. Interesting. Portlandia.
Portlandia.
Well, thank you for coming, and I look forward to working with you next week, Cherie, and I will get back to you in the next day or two with an email once I get one from you. All right, gang, I think that brings us to our closing. So
it does. Everyone have a beautiful week, a beautiful life.
Thoughts. Yes.
Positive things. Find your favorite power pose. The Power Rangers demonstrate 5 of them in cartoons, by the way. Think of your favorite superhero. How do they stand?
Yes. The Superman, Wonder Woman, or the
Aquaman.
Yippee! Yeah.
Or the Wonder Twins. All kinds.
Awesome. All right, guys. Namaste.
Namaste. Good night.
Thank you for joining the Eyes of Indigo with Iris Carter and Margot Ross Sears. Music is Arcadia by Kevin MacLeod of Incomptech.com, licensed under Creative Commons. Visit our Facebook page for broadcast details, www.facebook.com/eyesofindigo. Show is copyrighted 2021 by Iris Carter and Margot Ross Sears, all rights reserved.